Welcome back to MLive's Dungeon of Doom podcast. I'm Ben Raven. He is Kory Woods.
What's going on?
Happy Thanksgiving, man.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it was not a happy Thanksgiving for the Detroit Lions. They lose to the Packers 31-24, getting swept by their division rival, falling to 7-5 on the season. And they were already in third place and outside of the NFC playoff picture entering today's game. There's still a path forward to the playoffs, but gets a lot tougher from here on out.
I'm just going to be honest, and it's just my personal opinion. As we know, anything can happen. They literally can, in my opinion, can only probably drop one more game. Maybe.
It's going to be hard to make the NFC playoffs with only 10 wins.
Yeah, so it's like I'm of the mindset that now they need the win now, which is asking a lot. It's asking a total lot, but just the way they Aiden Hutchinson said it best. They put themselves behind the 8 ball with today's loss, and now they're facing real adversity to make the postseason.
Yeah, this was a team that was already missing stud tight end Sam Laporta. St. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown goes down 8 or 9, 10 minutes into this game, does not return, suffered an ankle injury, got rolled up on from behind by Tristan Colon and Coyote Awashika. Did not look good. He limped off very gingerly and never came back out of the locker room. Dan Campbell said he doesn't think it's quote-unquote long term, but it sounds like he could miss a week or two if they're lucky, Campbell said. And that is very freaking bad news.
Absolutely, because even though he's had some struggles over the past couple of weeks, he's still one of your most reliable pass catchers. He's still one of your most unsung leaders in the locker room. Not having a guy like that on the field that is a problem for opposing defenses, it's going to be real tough sledding. And I'm going to be honest, depending on what happens with these next couple of games, I'm just of the mindset of just shelving the guy. Depending on what happens.
Yeah.
Like if their pathway to the playoffs is just like pretty much done, might as well just kind of just shelve them, in my opinion. But I mean, that maybe I'm just jumping the gun. It's just that losing him over these next couple of weeks potentially, we don't know yet.
We don't know.
It could be bad. But I will say this: when his number was called today, Jameson Williams did step up.
Yeah,
he had some drops out there, but for the most part, they found a way to give him the ball when they needed to. And I'm wondering, can they use him or take those shots with him in similar roles with St. Brown out there?
The problem, Williams was great. Career high 7 catches today,
Yeah.
144 and a touchdown. And the fourth down drop,
Yeah.
I mean, the more I've watched that replay, the more I blame Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Because that is not Amon-Ra St. Brown,
Yeah.
who is sitting at the point of the catch and going to just make sure he gets it and then gets what he gets. That's Williams. And
Yeah.
Williams doesn't seem to have the ability to think, let me stop and catch this thing first. It's always what's next.
He's trying to catch that and turn it up.
And so that adds another, I mean, when you're aggressive on 4th down, when you need a guy on 3rd down, yeah, Williams can do whatever the frick you want him to do with the ball in his hands, but it's a different type of receiver than Laporta or Goff. Like those just 3rd down and 4th down killers that when Goff gets the ball in their vicinity, he knows it's coming down. With J-Mo, it's got to be right on.
Yeah.
I mean, that really is the reality. That's what Dan Campbell meant last year when he said he's never going to be that pure possession guy. That's just not his style. He does great things. He was great today.
Yeah.
But it just kind of talks about, the matching the identity with what they have available to them.
Yeah.
I know there was a lot of hand wringing over not taking the points there. I mean, hey, it was 4th and 3, I believe, in the red zone. I know a field goal obviously gets you within one score, I believe, at that point, but that's a decision that gets put under the microscope when they're back in a goal-to-go situation. And it would have been a chance to tie the game if they had kicked that field goal. So it's like, it's one of those things where I'm like, I expect them to go for it. I always lean on the aggressive side, but it's like, man, without Glasgow, without Mahogany, without Laporta, without St. Brown, with how this game was going, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I understand the aggression, but at the same time, I think you talked about this a couple of weeks ago. You got to have a certain feel for with the Eagles game. You got to have a feel for how the game is going, and just, hey, let's just take the points and live to see another drive. And who knows? And again, who knows what can happen when you take those points? Maybe it causes Green Bay to call their game differently and whatnot. It's not, hindsight is 2020. But I mean, in that moment, I just felt like down 10 points. Yes, the secondary they did not have a great day today.
No,
but I'm thinking down 10 points, take the field goal, be down 7. The defense is going to have to step up at some point anyway. Why not just rely on them to step up in the next drive?
And before discussing the NFL's explanation on the controversial calls that you all are wondering about, you just segued into the perfect. Campbell believed in his defense late in that game. That they took the clock from over 9 minutes to 2:59 with their last drive that they had the ball, settled for a field goal. Campbell defended that, saying that's how we wanted to play it. You can't just sit back there and pass and let Green Bay pin their ears back. Yeah, sure, but I don't think you can give the Packers the ball back with 2:59 left in the game and realistically think that was your best course of action.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of those things where he's just got to measure even if they go conservative and take their time like the way they were, there's no excuse for that clock being under 4 minutes.
Oh, man, that clock was just rolling. It was like no sense of urgency of getting to the line, getting those calls in, getting out. It's like, you guys are – it's rolling.
They were down 10, acting like it was a tie game, and they were settling for a field goal.
I did not get that at all.
I didn't get it either. And on top of that, Packers, Devontae Wyatt goes down with the injury. Lions get some time before the fourth down kick. They let 16 seconds off the clock before Bates kicked that field goal. Those are precious, precious seconds. And yes, if you trust your defense, great, but give your defense a little more margin for error. Give your offense a chance. They literally did not get the ball back. And the fourth down decisions, not the fourth down execution was the difference today. The Packers hit on both of theirs. The Lions missed on both of theirs. They have now missed 7 straight fourth down attempts, dating back to the Philadelphia game. 7 straight. With all that said, clock management, whatever. The 3 play calls once they got down to the 4-yard line, Montgomery passing out of the Wildcat, Goff passing to Ross Dwelly, and then Goff getting drilled and sacked and forced to take a field goal. Like I said, they were playing like it was a tie game. Like, all right, let's milk this clock. You were down 10 points.
10.
You can't be aggressive on fourth down. You can't be when you marry it with clock management like that. I just, even if they took their time and ran it like a normal possession, they wasted so much time out of the huddle, so much time on the kick. I was shocked. I was sincerely shocked.
It was no sense of urgency.
And this place was booing the heck out of that. They're still in the huddle? What? Like,
come on. Where's the sense of urgency? Your season is on the line. Your chance to win 3 straight division crowns is on the line. And you're acting like everything is okay. You're going to go ahead and just stop these guys and get the ball back and win it when there's been no indication all game that you've been able to really slow down Jordan Love. Yeah, you got some pressure earlier, but really some of Love's throws that he made, they were good throws. He had some guys drop some passes out there. He only completed 60% of his passes, but if you're looking at if you're really watching that game, he had no problems today.
No, the pass rush was non-existent.
They had no sacks and 2 quarterback hits.
God. And I'm starting to become a pressures aren't real guy. Quick pressures are the real stat, in my opinion. You're going to start to see that more in my writing too, because I think PFF had the Lions with 18 pressures. Do you remember more than one of those?
No.
Because I remember the one, and it was the Love scramble away from a sack and missed his wide open guy for a touchdown. The pass rush was non-existent. Marcus Davenport was back in the rotation today. It was non-existent. And I just, here's the stat from Rich Silva after the game. The Lions have 4 sacks through the last 4 games. Only 2 have come from the defensive line. Lopez and Hutchinson. Branch is the sack leader right now through those last 4 games. That's not good.
Not at all.
That's not good. And it's just the reason why I mentioned the clock mismanagement. I'm going to call it that. Campbell can defend it all he's want. That's one of those things I vehemently disagree with, because the Packers hit a 3rd and 5 at 2:48. Lions still get a chance. They have 3 timeouts, the 2-minute warning. Like, you should have been given that defense at least 4 minutes on the clock. Like, and then the fateful play, the Packers give the Lions a gift from God and pass on 3rd and 3 after the 2-minute warning. Then they still go out for it. Love hits Dontavian Wicks for another big play. 16 yards, loses his shoe, ends the game. The fourth down execution was the difference today. The clock management at the end was a major factor, in my opinion. It just closed. The Lions were lucky to have a shot, and they closed the margin of error to literally 1. The crowd was booing, and I was like, man, I would be booing this too.
Yeah, it just did not seem like a team that – it didn't seem like a team that was coming out trying to save their season.
No.
It just seemed like they just like, all right, it is what it is.
I know. And to start the first half, Gibbs runs on 3rd and 3, loses yards. Gibbs runs on 3rd and 2, loses yards. Runs on 4th and 3, loses yards. 2 plays later, you've got Amik Robertson, who's great, but on single outside coverage on Christian Watson on a vertical route down the field. 51-yard touchdown. Hello, back to a 10-point hole. The defense had 10 guys on the field for a 3rd down that Jacobs converted in the first half, Then they have 12 men on the field inside the 10-yard line that goes it from 3rd and 8 to 3rd and 3. Packers score, I think, 1 or 2 plays later.
I think it's really concerning because this is back-to-back weeks that they just have not looked like a sound team on both sides of the ball. It's like after that bye, we knew they had struggles before the bye.
Yeah.
But aside from the Commanders game, this is like a totally different team.
Yeah. The vision for what this team is and should be and what they want it to be is disconnected from the execution. It's disconnected from what they have available. It's disconnected from what their offensive line is. It's disconnected from what the defense might be capable of, because this defense has been really good at times this season. But like last week, it was tough. Got bit on some trick plays and Jameis Winston playing around and throwing that thing to the sky. Today, Love precisioned them to death.
I was never like down on Love, but I'm like, okay, what is so special about him? The way he's 60% today.
Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah.
But if you just watch the throws he made on the money, I'm like, my God, he's a problem.
Yeah. The throw he had to tight end Luke Musgrave for 23 yards was one of the best. I was like, dang. On the throw, guys chasing him down outside of the pocket. There's one of those pressures, but just an absolute dime. Yeah, 18 of 30, 234, 4 touchdowns, no picks. The 51-yard touchdown went like 59 yards in the air. It was the longest throw of his career. And like I said, I love Amik Robertson. Don't put the shortest player on the field in single outside coverage on Christian frickin' Watson. That is what Watson does.
Set him up for failure. I mean, it's one thing to, have faith in him and Amik and what you've seen him done against some of the elite receivers. But when you got your horses back, DJ Reed is back, Terrion Arnold is back. You can't leave him out there like that.
No, and shifting to some of the controversy, the first one we'll tackle is the Wicks touchdown that, in fast motion, did not look like a catch. In slow motion, you go, okay, I see what they said there. NFL's vice president of instant replay, Mark Butterworth, said the ruling on the field was a touchdown. We saw control with his right foot down and his left down in the end zone, and then a third step out of the end zone. Was there any discussion about a bobble? No. These receivers are that good. He controls the ball with his hand, but with his hands or arm above his body while pulling it down by rule, he can actually pull that ball into his body as he completes the process of a catch. Sure. I've never heard, no, these receivers are that good used in a pool report.
I'm like, that's a little, all right.
And then whatever on that one, what's a catch? Nobody knows. Yeah. Once I saw the slow motion, I was like, all right, that explanation matches up with what is seen in super slow motion. I don't know how they made that call without taking closer looks on the fly, but the damning one to me was the timeout before the false start.
I'm having a hard time with that one.
Because the broadcast clearly shows the player jump and then LaFleur signals. he had a play sheet over his face before that. The guy is jumping and the play sheet is coming away from his face. How can you give them that timeout?
I don't see it. I don't know. That's the one that's gonna that's not. I want to say this was that. Can you say officiating malpractice?
I mean, that was I think that was really bad. It was really bad because that's a joke.
Yeah.
I just are you. Nothing they're saying matches up with what we're seeing with our eyes.
You literally see him jump off sides, and then you literally see LaFleur in the camera running over after it.
And like the broadcast, I guess, was saying that they could hear him screaming timeout. That's what the officials kind of said. This is what Butterworth said about that. The timeout was called before the false start happened. He got asked about LaFleur covering his mouth. At what point did the official hear him ask for a timeout, quote unquote, before the false start? How did you reach that conclusion? We talked about it on the field. We recognized the timeout called and that the timeout was called before the false start.
When did you recognize? If you recognize it, then how come it wasn't?
Yeah. Shout out to Colton Pouncey for handling the pool report. But those answers are, you got to give more detail on that.
Yeah.
Like, because you're just leaving the gates of hell open for Lions fans to complain.
Yep.
And honestly, guys, you know me, I don't like to gripe about bad calls or stuff, but that false start timeout, that's a joke.
And it's on video. It's on video.
I think the Packers scored one or two plays later with another. I just, that one to me is, you want to feel bad about something, you want to feel wrong about something in this game, that's the one you can feel bad about. Like, honestly, Lions-Packers wouldn't be a Lions-Packers Thanksgiving game without some type of this discussion.
Yeah.
Golly. But, man, the St. Brown injury, that's tough. The Laporta injury, that's tough. You know, shout out JMO, 7 for 144. Tom Kennedy deserves some props for stepping in.
Yeah.
Had some great blocks, too. Caught all 4 targets, 36 yards, 2 third-down conversions. Great answer there. He's not St. Brown, but, you know, he executed. And then the Michigan kid, 2 targets, 2 catches, 35 yards, and one heck of a touchdown.
And yeah, and then, you know, Tesla and Kennedy, they were both pretty much, I'm going to paraphrase what both of them said. It was kind of along the same lines. They love to get those opportunities to show what they can do, but they don't want it to be at the expense of, you know, top guys like a St. Brown or even a Khalif Raymond who can play today, of those guys being out of action.
Lions are 7-5. It's tough. It's a tough hill to climb. The game against the Cowboys is coming next Thursday. It means a lot more than we thought it was going to mean a couple weeks ago. The Cowboys are battling with the Chiefs as we record right now at 7:30 p.m. on Thanksgiving. Yeah. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah,
then
man.
After,
like as of right now, the Cowboys have a 28-21 lead.
Yeah, man. The Cowboys, and that Cowboys defense is no joke, and they are powered through the interior defensive line of Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams, which leads us into our next conversation. Is Frank Ragnow. He's back.
He's back.
It's real.
Yeah, you know, we talked with Taylor Decker after the game. He said that
great quotes.
He's known for basically about a month.
Yeah,
and said that, you know, paraphrasing, he didn't really want to needle him, but he could kind of feel that Frank was looking to come back. So, I mean, how acclimated can Frank get?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, that's the question. I mean, I think pushing him to try to get back by Thursday might be pushing it a lot. I mean, I think realistically, you could say the Rams game might be the best shot, but at the same time, it's like that first half with Tristan out there made you wonder, like, Frank, are you in the building now?
Yeah, for sure. It was a rough start for Cologne. I thought he evened out as the game went on. You know, unfortunately, the problems were kind of on the tackles with Micah Parsons just eating people alive.
He got, you said it, that one where he went in untouched on Goff. Those are the kind of hits that I said concerned me about Goff.
Yeah,
him taking that's concerning for any quarterback to take that shot, but Parsons shot out like he was shot out of a cannon.
Yeah. Parsons had 10 pressures, 2.5 sacks, pressure rate of 38.5%, the highest since his rookie season. He had 4 pressures and a sack and a half on 6 pass rushes on 3rd freaking down. But yeah, with Frank, I'll say this. I don't think he'll play next Thursday against the Cowboys. But if anybody could do it, it's Frank Ragnow. He knows this offense. Yes, there's some new things to keep up on, but what's he coming back for if it's not to help him get him over the hump? If it's not to help them combat someone he knows better than most in Kenny Clark, to help combat Kory Williams? Like, it's a stretch, but he didn't come out of retirement for nothing.
I'll say this. The reports are that Frank wants to play sooner than later.
Yeah.
Okay, there's that.
Yep.
I think that if the Lions had won this game, he
Easily,
definitely
yes.
would have been coming back in the Rams game.
Yeah. Yeah.
With the fact that, you're right, he did not come back for nothing.
Yeah.
I think that now the window is cracked open a little bit wider for him to return next Thursday.
On.
And one person I think that might be advocating for that, Jared Goff.
I would think so. Like, hey, if he's here, he knows the offense. He knows me. He knows Dan. He knows Decker. He knows Sewell. He knows freaking Awashika.
I don't know the limits on, off the top of my head on what they could do as far as practice or whatnot. I can just see Goff being like, you know what, hey, let's just work a little bit extra, make sure we get our timing back down. Everything like that, because at least with Frank out there, the protections are going to be right.
Yeah.
And
while battling through all the injuries he battled through, he remained a second-team All-Pro, Pro Bowler, highly regarded by all the analytics sites, one of the best centers of his generation, an elite run blocker, but possibly the best pass-blocking interior offensive lineman of this generation. That's what they need. Glasgow's banged up. Glasgow didn't play today. They're already missing Mahogany. In theory, Ragnow center, Glasgow goes to left guard, Awashika goes back to the bench. You feel great about that. But there's question marks on Glasgow. He didn't play today. He didn't play. So who knows how bad that is? Of all the things we got to ask about, that was not one of them today. Yeah. But the Lions are 7-5. They're playing a Cowboys team that has found life through the interior defensive line. I don't know. I'm not trying to get anybody's hopes up, but this loss today makes it more realistic.
It makes things bleak.
They need it.
Because if the Cowboy, again, as we're recording, the Cowboys Chiefs game is still on. If the Cowboys pull this game out against the Chiefs, they're coming into Ford Field with nothing to lose. Hair on fire, feeling like they could go ahead and turn their season around.
They'd be only a half game back in the Lions if they end up winning this Chiefs game, going into that game. So, Ragnow's been retired for 6 months. He's not played football. Who knows what shape he's in? The good thing with him is the body got the rest it needs, and it's frickin' Frank, who just played the last 2 or 3 seasons barely practicing. So there's some trust there, but, it's offensive linemen generally lose weight when they step away from the game. So you never know. You never know. I'm just saying he unretired for a reason. He's the answer to so many of their problems. He's not going to fix the St. Brown or the Laporta issues. No. But shoot, man, look to that Goff touchdown to Tesla. When he has a clean pocket, when he can stand in the pocket, when he can go through his progressions, he's lethally accurate. So I just... what percentage am I on for Frank in the Cowboys game? I'm from 2% to 15%, just to put a gauge on the conversation. I think it's very likely the Rams game, but I think this loss today turns up the heat a touch.
Yeah, I was at 10%. I'm hovering right around 20-ish.
Okay.
20-ish.
We'll see.
Still think it's a tall task to ask Frank to come back.
It is. Even him.
But I mean, this is not being, overly dramatic.
No.
Season's on the line next week.
No, it's officially on the line every time they play for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
They were out of the playoffs coming into today. Just got swept by the Packers. That puts you in a freaking hole in the division, and the Packers aren't even the first place team.
Yeah, because tomorrow
the Bears.
Let's see what this Bears look like. Bears have some tough games coming up. Are they about to go ahead and take a slide, or they're about to be like, hey,
yeah,
we're playing with house money. Let's go ahead and knock this thing out.
Earlier, I said the Packers were 2 for 2 on fourth down. They were 3 for 3 on fourth down. So, I mean, I'm going to write about that tomorrow morning. The column is basically like, we're about to find what grit really means to this team, and just kind of talking about how Campbell, the play caller, the head coach, needs to kind of realize what he has available, what this team has been this season, and find some common ground. The common ground thing I've been saying all year. It's like 0 for 7 the last 7 attempts on fourth down. The Commanders game, his first game as play caller, was a smash hit. But since then, that rhythm word comes to mind. It's missing.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if the way this season is panning out is somewhat of a wake-up call to Campbell and the front office, just off of the moves they did, they made, or lack thereof, throughout the offseason. It's just they don't have I don't know if they have enough to, I don't know if they have enough to even talk about Super Bowl. Let's just talk about playoffs right now. I'm wondering if they have enough to really make the postseason.
Yeah, the talent is there. I believe in this coaching staff. I believe in this roster, but it's getting harder and harder to stay on that line for this season. I still think long-term, next season, they should still be considered among the favorites. I mean, the roster is there, but you're talking about St. Brown, Laporta, the offensive line issues. The standard has really not been met on the line. Hopefully Ragnow can get back in time to help that. But, yeah, man, I mean, the Lions did exactly what I begged for them to do. They gave Jahmyr Gibbs the ball a lot today. 20 rushes, 68 yards, barely anything on the catch. He was looking like Barry Sanders running for his life, looping around the field, just trying to find a crease. And so much of that starts with the offensive line. So much of that starts with missing Brock Wright and Sam Laporta. Shout out Zach Horton. I thought Zach Horton played well today, but that wasn't enough to move the needle.
No.
Yeah, we're at a interesting crossroads here for this season.
For this season, it's, writers, fans, everybody has been spoiled watching this team play a certain way. And to see let's just call it what it is, see a regression.
Yes. We're 7-5.
Yeah, it's I mean, when they were 12-5, that was something different because they looked like a different team. Right now, you're 7-5 at this point. It's kind of like it's concerning because with the opponents you have coming up, you could very well find yourself 10-7, but that doesn't make the playoffs.
They're 1-3 in the division.
Yeah, I mean, just so you guys know, that's gone.
It feels very gone. Yeah. I mean, you're going to need the Packers to fall off. I still think the Bears are going to regress and fall back to earth. They are catchable. That's the bright side equation of the playoff picture. But losing 2 to LaFleur and the Packers, that sucks, guys. I'm sorry the Thanksgiving was a tough one. It was a frustrating one. This was just a frustrating game to watch just because the standard is so much higher than what we've seen in so many crucial moments this year. And you kind of expect things just to get better because they always have under Campbell. And right now, he doesn't have all the firepower he has. The offensive, we are seeing how much the offensive line means to this operation and Jared Goff because it's just not the same when pressure's coming. They aren't built to handle guys like Parsons and Wyatt before his injury. And there's some good freaking defensive teams down the pipe, too, because the Rams, Stafford's balling. They're so much more than just an offense-first team. They have so much young talent on that defensive line. They have And the Cowboys, I've said it, Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams, that's a matchup nightmare.
Never would have, when you see that the Cowboys trade Micah Parsons, you still think trading a guy like that, not necessarily the greatest move, but when you see how they
how they shifted their defensive identity.
Yeah, it's like, it's not just one guy, it's now a unit.
Yeah. I mean, the move to pair Clark with Williams was you got to give it to the old oil tycoon because he pulled it off pretty well there. And his team is surging because of his moves at the deadline. I don't agree with the Parsons trade at all. Still, never will. But golly, I just
you rebounded as any team as well as any team could from trading a star player.
Yeah. Right now, the Lions need Glasgow to get healthy. He hasn't been fantastic this year, but they need him. And Graham's a whole lot better when he's playing next to Frank.
Yeah.
And they need Frank to get ready and ready fast. I would hate to see Ragnow's unretire for nothing this year.
Yeah.
That's the type of move that should fuel your franchise forward.
And that's what I was hoping for today, hoping to see today. Like, hey, we don't have Frank today, but we got to close this game out because with him coming back soon, it gives us a chance. Now it's kind of like,
Cowboys just took a 10-point lead. So next Thursday, the whiteout here at Ford Field, it's another big game, folks.
Yeah, 10-point lead with 5 minutes left.
Yep.
Woo, boy.
All right, Kory, I said 25 minutes today. We're at 31. It's Thanksgiving. Yeah. I got a lonesome pup alone. I got the house to myself this weekend.
I have to go see a family about a plate.
Yep.
And get some R&R and, really do a deep dive on what the Cowboys are doing. Because next week, hey,
it's coming.
Again,
Thursday night.
I know we got to go, but look, y'all, next week could be it.
Yeah. And we're gonna find time for a mailbag pod before that game. So get those questions in, dungeonofdoom@mlive.com. We'll put a call out either tonight or tomorrow morning on Friday. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Thanksgiving. Shout out to my family. Love and miss you guys. I'll see you in 2026. I think that's about it today. The Lions are 7-5. They lose to the Packers 31-24. Get swept by the Packers, a team that they had owned in recent years, a division they'd owned in recent years. Slipping away, and that's not the only thing slipping away because every game is so consequential to their playoff hopes, and it's Cowboys, Rams, still got to play the Bears and Vikings again. I know the Vikings are slipping too, but the Vikings offense didn't own the Lions. Their defense did, and they still got that. So nothing easy, and we're about to find out what grit really means to this team because they're back up against the wall like they haven't been in a very long time.
Yeah, and, but it's been, a few seasons since it's been an end of the season locker room clean out at the end of the regular season. So it could, again, they don't win next week.
There's a lot on the line.
We could be staring at that reality.
Yeah, for sure. Get those questions in, dungeonofdoom@mlive.com. We're thankful for all of our loyal listeners and readers. Check out all our work, mlive.com/Lions. We are your Dungeon of Doom podcast. I'm Ben Raven. He's Kory Woods.
Peace.